Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Delighted to have on Benjamin Jurken, our brand new Price of Business contributor. Very bright guy who works with a fascinating company that's making the difference in the lives and the businesses of importers everywhere with his company, the ABC Group, LLC. When we discovered them and became familiar with them, we became very excited for them to have opportunities to talk about their story, as well as to bring the stories of other businesses out there that are really trying to help their customers and I think make a robust economy for all of us. And so I love the work of the ABC Group. Benjamin, kind of tell us a little bit about your company and then introduce us to your guest today, and welcome.
Sure, absolutely, and thanks for having me this morning.
You bet.
The ABC Group is a consulting firm offering advisory and commercial services to SMEs looking to engage in business throughout mainland China. We're headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and have a liaison office with full-time staff in Guangzhou, China. We currently have approximately 30 clients with active and ongoing programs based throughout the United States, with the strongest concentration located in the Rust Belt and other areas historically known for manufacturing. The most common services we provide our clients are supply chain and quality control management in nature, though our export business has grown steadily over the past 3 years. With me today, I have Dan Bates, CEO of Windstream Technologies. Dan, I appreciate you joining us this morning.
It's a pleasure.
To start out with, for those who may not be aware of Windstream Technologies, could you provide us with a brief overview of who you are and Windstream Technologies' mission?
Okay, so Windstream Technologies has created a renewable energy system. It's the first of its kind hybrid. It's fully integrated, and what I mean by that is it's a solar panel and a set of wind turbines that can be easily deployed, very cost-effective, and they're like Legos, if you will. They're building blocks, so a customer can mix and match the amount of wind and solar that they need for any given application.
Yeah, very good. And so, by the way, real quickly, I want to make sure we get your website out there. Can you give us that real quick?
Yeah, sure. It's www.windstream-inc.com.
And Benjamin, your next question.
Obviously, one of the core missions of Windstream Technologies is to bring power to those who are off the grid or dependent on expensive or unreliable energy. That said, can you discuss Windstream Technologies' primary markets and your recent orders from JPS?
Sure. Windstream focuses on, like you said, two areas of interest for us right now, where energy is expensive or where energy is inconsistent or non-existent. So, for example, an expensive area would be the Caribbean, Jamaica specifically, where the average consumer spends over 43 cents per kilowatt hour for the energy that they use. By example, we in the United States have an average of 12 cents per kilowatt hour cost, so almost 4 times greater. Throughout the Caribbean, this is the case, where they have to import all of their fossil fuels to create the energy that is then supplied to the grid. So the solar mill product that Windstream sells in that area is a very cost-effective way of offsetting that energy expense. In other areas of the world where it's inconsistent, where energy is difficult to come by, or it doesn't exist at all, is another great place for an inexpensive renewable energy solution like the solar mill.
Interesting. And so, where are you in terms of reaching your full potential? Kind of give us a sense of that, because a lot of the view is, and I think the hybrid is the difference in what you're talking about. Is when you talk about one of these alternative energy sources, there's a lot of instability. Talk about that compared to what you guys are doing with that hybrid approach.
Well, so the hybrid approach really gives the customer the chance to generate energy. I'd like to say 24/7. It's not going to be in all reality, but it's going to be a much longer energy generation cycle than wind only or solar only. So we're able to generate energy over a longer course of a 24-hour cycle. But the other thing is over seasonality, so that when you have the summer months when there's less wind and you have more sun, conversely in the winter it just flips, right? You have more wind and storms than you have full bright days of sunshine. So we flattened the line of energy generation out from 24/7 to 365 this way. It's a much more stable energy generation product. In doing so, in environments where you also have an off-grid or a battery-backed solution, You also have the ability to generate energy when you're typically drawing down. So a user has a bank of batteries. They go to work. Those solar panels are charging those batteries during the day. At night when they come home and they're drawing that energy reserve, the wind is typically more active, charging those batteries, reducing the depth of discharge of the battery, and then therefore making the batteries last longer. So there's lots of benefits to having a hybrid, not just more stable energy generation, but overall system health as well.
Yeah, very good. Go ahead there, Benjamin.
So, Dan, going back to your primary markets lying outside the United States, as a primary exporter, what are some of the challenges that Windstream Technologies has encountered and some of the solutions that you found to those challenges?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is when we deal with distributors in countries that are not as, economically flush as we are here in the United States, we like to use a tool that the Ex-Im Bank has provided us, and that is, as long as we have what's deemed creditworthy buyers, the Ex-Im Bank will come in and assist in providing a credit vehicle for those buyers. And that's been able to really jumpstart our business, where in Jamaica, our customer has taken advantage of that Ex-Im policy that we have. We've done so in Africa and in Europe and in Latin America, where we have found customers that could avail themselves of the policy being offered through Windstream. Then we can go and get the working capital needed to build those products. Typically, the biggest problem that we have with international buyers is their ability to pay. Can they deliver on a purchase order? What's the credit terms that we can offer them, or what's the payment facility that they're able to recognize to get these products out the door?
Very interesting. Very interesting. By the way, give that website one more time, the Windstream Technology website.
Sure. You can visit us at www.windstream-inc.com.
This is a fantastic interview. Great job, Benjamin. And by the way, Benjamin's first time, but certainly not his last. We're going to be hearing from him frequently here on the program, plus seeing great articles by him over at priceofbusiness.com as our new contributor. And love what you do. Final thoughts before we let you go. We got about 30 seconds.
I just want to thank you for the opportunity this morning, and for Dan to shed some insight into Windstream Technologies. I think they really are a great company and very innovative, and I'm excited to see what lies in their future.
And give your website one more time, Benjamin.
Sure. It is www.theabcgroupllc.com.
Thanks so much. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here, like this interview, will show up over there at usdatareview.com. That's getting over 1 million hits a month. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.